Hello guys and welcome back to another of our classes about Excel and the introduction to data analysis done with Excel. So in today's class we are gonna start our first project. We are not gonna talk about the goal of the project, we are just going to create a database. So my goal is really right now to create a database since our first project will be really about a population analysis. So what we'll do, we'll create a database of people. We're not gonna create 100 names, but we will create really a database of something around 500 people to be able to do a good analysis. So we'll not import nothing. We'll create our database with some functions and some other stuffs. This way we'll be able to have a database that will be regenerated every time, and we'll be able to see the results changing every time because everything in this database will be randomized. Sorry. So let's start. So the first thing I want you guys to do is really to open up Excel, and so let's start. So all right, the first thing we will look in our database is the gender of the people. So let's say, so for this course we'll have two genders, man and woman. So the way we'll do it, we will have two variables. So we want to write down man or woman. So we will write down equal if, let's say the case here is equal to 1, we will write down, let's say, men. If it's not equal to 1, we'll write down woman. All right. And here, what we'll do, we'll generate a random number between 1 and 2. So what's gonna happen? Every time we'll regenerate our database, the number right here will regenerate and we'll have a man or a woman. The gender will change every time. Right now we have the gender. The next thing we'll need in our database is the age of the people. So want to know what's the age of everyone right here. So we'll generate once again a random age. So what we'll do, we'll write down random between, let's say this time between 25 and 45. All right. When it's done, we have the age, we have a random age. Then we want to have the occupation, so where exactly the people are working. So in what field? So let's say it's called field of work. So simply where exactly the people are working. So for the purpose of this database, we won't use 100 fields of work. We'll use, let's say, 5. So we'll say, for example, health. We will have construction. We will have teaching. Let's say IT. What else? General work. And let's say a sixth one. We already have education. Let's say agriculture. All right, perfect. So we have 6 fields of work. What we will do, we have a small database of fields of work. We'll give them a number, so number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. All right, what we'll do here, we'll simply write down field of work. Perfect. Then what we'll do, once again, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll insert a random number here. So we'll write down rand between, this time 1 and 6. All right, so we'll have a random number that will be generated every time, and we want to generate one of those, one of those words here to know the field of studies of this person. So how exactly can we do this? It's gonna be with the VLOOKUP function. So we simply write down VLOOKUP, and all right, we have our function. So what exactly we are looking for? We are looking for this number in this database, and we want to have the second variable. So, the second column, sorry. So this is the first column, this is the second column. We need the second column for the purpose of this database. So, all right, so here we go. We have our field of work, which is construction. Amazing. So next thing we'll need is adding a education. So where exactly the person is studying. Well, not studying, but where exactly the person, the level of education that the person has. So once again, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll write down education. So what we'll do here, we'll write down, for example, high school, college, university, and let's say technical and other. So we'll do the exact same thing. We'll add numbers here. Once again, 5. Here, we'll do the exact same thing. We'll create a random number between 1 and 6. So what I want you guys to do is simply copy this function, and you can paste it here, and you'll have a random function there. So it's gonna generate random numbers between 1 and 6. And we'll do the exact same thing. So we'll write down a VLOOKUP function. So VLOOKUP, once again, we are looking up for this number, and this time this database, and we want the second column. So as you can see, it will generate us a random, it will generate us the education of those people. Next thing we want to have is how many kids. So simply write down kids, and we'll generate a random number this time between 1 and let's say, between 0 and let's say 4. So I know it can be more in some cases, but once again, it's just for the purpose of this database. If you want to play around and add more kids, you can do it. All right, so when this is done, the next thing we want to have is the number of vehicles that the person has. The person, yeah. So I'll write down vehicles. So vehicles are, for example, cars. Let's say cars. It's going to be easier for you guys to understand. So the number of cars. We'll do the exact same thing. This time we'll generate a random number between 0 and 2. When it's all done, let's say 1 and 2. 1 and 3. It's going to be easier since we'll have... All right. So right now that we have the number of cars, we want to have the income of those people. We want to know exactly what is the income of this person. So what we'll do, we'll write down income. And we'll generate a random income. Since this exercise is done in something like Canada, so we are going to use the average Canadian income. So we will say that income will be between... Once again, rent between, let's say 25,000 and 90,000. All right. So we have a random income that is generated. After that, we want to have the area where the person lives. So the area I'm talking, let's say in this case, and for this database, the purpose of this database, we'll have the province where this person lives. So once again, for the purpose of this exercise, we'll use Canadian provinces. If you guys just want to write down, let's say area 1, area 2, area 4, you can do it. But we are going to use Canadian provinces for this exercise. So you can simply copy what I'm writing, or you can just write once again area 1, area 2, area 3. All right, so we have our provinces there. What we want to do, it's the exact same thing. We want to generate a number for each province. Since our goal, once again, is to generate a random province or territory. All right, so we'll do the exact same thing here. We'll select, we'll write down area, and we'll give each area a number. So we'll do a VLOOKUP once again. So VLOOKUP in this case. So first of all, we'll generate a random number. So between 1 and 14. And here what we'll do is simply generate an area. So equal, we'll do our VLOOKUP there. So we are looking up for this in this database. We're looking up for this number in this database, and we want to generate the second column. So once again, we have right now 3 databases to help us create our first database. You can, if you need more space, you can simply insert cells there. It's gonna give you more space. The next thing we want to look for is the value of their home, since all the persons that we will have in our database are having a house. So what we'll do is we'll write down house. Well, value of house. It's gonna be value of house. So here what we'll do, we'll generate a random number between, let's say, the way I want to calculate it is the value of the house will be linked to the income of the person. So in this case, the value of the house will be something between, let's say, 3 to 4 times the income of the person. So let's try it out. So we have our income here. So the value of the house will be equal to the income multiplied by random value 3 to, let's say, 6 times the value of the income. So if the income of the person is 42,000, well, the value of its house will be, in this case, 213,000. So as you can see, we'll give you a number that will make sense. All right, we have the value of the house. After that, we want to have the mortgage that is left to pay on the house. So we'll write it down here. Mortgage left. Once again, you'll see the more we'll advance in this database, the more it's going to become complicated. So just try to stay with me and understand everything. So right now we have our house value. When I calculate the mortgage of the house, so what we'll do, we'll simply generate a random number between 0 and 1 and multiply it by the value of the house. So the number will be, let me show you the function first. So it's gonna be rend, and as you can see, we'll generate a small number between 0 and 1, and we'll know exactly what's the mortgage left on the house. So as you can see, the value of the house is 400,000, 3,300, 400,000, 3,300, 974, and the mortgage left is the number here. All right. So right now that we have the value of our house, we have how much left to pay on the house. We want to calculate the value of the cars. So how much the cars are valued. So in this case, we'll do the exact same thing. So we'll write down there, cars value. So we'll do the approximately same thing here. So what we'll do, we'll multiply the number of cars, which is here, by a random value by the income. So let's do it. So we'll multiply the number of cars by a random value between 0 and 1 by the income. The goal of doing this is just to give us the goal of doing this is, yeah, sometimes you can have problems with the functions when you write it down. So as I said, we'll multiply the number of cars by random value by the income. Like I said, the goal of doing all this is really to give you guys a certain logic number to our database, because we can't just create some random numbers right here, numbers that doesn't make sense. In this case, it will be numbers that make sense. So all the 3 cars value is in this case 100,782. Then how much is left to pay on those cars? So we wanna know left to pay on cars. So we will generate a random number between 0 in this case and the value of the car. So it will give us how much is left to pay on this number. All right. So when we have, let's say, all those numbers, we want to know how much debt is the person having in this case. So right now we're trying to calculate the net worth of the person. So the next thing we want to calculate, as I said, is really how much debt this person has. So we have our car value. We'll just grow the cells. Then, all right. So the way we'll calculate debts, once again, we'll do a random number between 0 and 1, and simply multiply it by the income. So this way we will be able to see people who have debts, people who don't have debts. So we'll use this little technique. So as I said, we'll use a random number between 0 and 1 and multiply it by the income of the person, which if you look at statistics in Canada, makes a lot of sense calculating it this way. We'll go a bit further for the calculation and we'll multiply it by 2. So this way we'll have greater depth. It will be more interesting for the course of this exercise. So here we have our depth. All right, so the next thing we want to calculate, right now we have all the debts, and now we want to know, for example, how much person has money on the side. So for example, how much money the person has put it in the stock market or whatever, where the person calculates it whatever the person is putting his money in. So once again, we'll generate a random number between 0 and 1 and multiply it by the income. Perfect. So we want to calculate the value of investments. So what we will do, we'll simply write down the rand function between 0 and 1. Well, just the rent. Multiply it by the income. And multiply, let's say, once again, to give us something more that makes more sense. Multiply by 1.5. Here we go. So we have our investments value. So right now we have absolutely everything to be able to calculate, calculate how much is the net worth of this person. So the next thing we want to do is calculate how much the person will be, what are the values of the actives of this person. What does it mean? It only means that how much, not the debts, how much exactly this person worth without the debts. So in this case, we will calculate the house value. So just write it down. Value of the person. All right. So what we'll calculate here will be the value of the house plus the value of the cars plus the value of the investments. So once again, all this is just theoretical. In the real world, we'll have more things that we will calculate. But once again, our goal here is just to have a basic database and calculate some basic things. So we have all this right now, which is perfect. The next thing we want to calculate will be the value of the debts of the person. So the first thing you guys want to do is just give yourself more space. So just insert cells. Then the value of debts. And how do we calculate the debts of this person? It's simply the mortgage left plus what's left to pay on cars plus personal debts. And we have the value of debts of this person. Then the net worth of the person how this will be calculated? Once again, it's very simple. Simply write down equal. We'll make a subtraction. So the value of the person minus the value of debts. And you will have the net worth of the person in dollars. As I said, right now, this is in this database, we only have one person. But our goal right now is to create a database for 500 persons. So don't worry, guys, we will not make the same thing 100 times. 500 times. We will go a bit faster. So what we'll do there, first of all, we have to review our formulas, because if we don't review it, look what will happen. We'll simply have errors everywhere. So as you can see, nothing will work. So let me show you what exactly we'll do. So we'll go in our first formula here. We want to lock down, there are things that we will lock down. So do we have to lock down some numbers there? Not really. If you guys want to verify it, as you can see, we don't have nothing to lock down here. The age is good as well. Then, if for example we try to copy paste everything here, it's not gonna work since it's linked to this database. So what we want to lock is this database. So how are we gonna lock this database? It's very simple. We'll write down $signs. So as you can see, guys, we're writing down $signs. And our database is locked. So right now we are always, each time we'll copy paste, what's gonna happen is we will use this cell as a reference. We'll look for this cell, but always in this database. So let me show you. Right now everything works well. So we'll do the exact same thing in our other places in the database. We want to lock all the databases, all the small databases. There we go. So for the number of kids, it's good. Number of cars, everything's perfect. The income, it's good since it's just a red between. Here we'll do the exact same thing. We have a small database that we are working with. Simply lock it. So you write down $signs in front of letters and the number. All right, amazing. As you can see, guys, everything works perfectly. For the rest, it's all gonna be good. So right now, what we want to do is simply take all this and drag it down till, let's say, we want a database of 500 persons. So we'll have a database of 500 persons in our case. So here we go. We have our database. And each time we refresh, well, we have new numbers. All right, that's amazing. Next thing we want to do is make everything presentable. So what we'll do right now, we'll simply hide all those cells, which are our databases. So simply select them and click on the hide button here. So as you can see, it's all hidden now. The same thing will be done for the cells there. So simply click on it and click on hide. So all the cells that are, for example, cells with the numbers, so cells with no name, for example, not the age, but the cells, for example, for a field of work, the cells that have numbers, for example, 2, 6, 3, we don't need them. We'll simply hide them. Once again, don't click on the delete button since we only need to hide them, not delete them. They're very important. Here we go. So I think we hided all our cells that we don't need. All right, so right now we have a perfect database that works perfectly, and each time that we refresh the page, as we can see, well, what we can see is that it refreshes all the numbers, and we have new numbers, new fields of work, the ages, genders, everything, well, everything changes. Next thing we want to do is put it more beautiful. So what we'll do, we'll select the whole database and simply put it in a table. So we'll create a table for the whole database. So what we'll do, we'll simply go back up, click on insert, and table. And as you guys can see, we have a beautiful table we'll have a beautiful table right here. We can, for example, select only women's. Well, it regenerates every time, so we can't really do it. But normally, if we don't have a random database that will, for example, regenerate every time, we'll be able to only generate one gender, one age, one field of work. In this case, we can't do this. Why? Because this database will regenerate every time. So this is the only reason why we can't really use the tab features. Once again, we'll not really use it to analyze this database. So that's it for this course, guys, and see you all in our next class, where we are gonna talk about what is the goal of this database.